average UK person spends around 24 hours a week online. With the 10-year challenge popping up all over our feeds, we decided to take a look at how people feel about the rise of social media and technology.
A day on social media, say a work day, we're looking at probably 2 hours on average.
Let's say between 6 to 8 hours.
Nearly half your day.
Yeah, kind of. Sometimes I stay awake all night being on social media. A lot.
Yeah, let's not go into numbers. Screen time in a day for me would be 3 hours. 3 hours, yeah. So I'm cooking, I can quickly go on it. Okay, I'm coming, go back to it, then I think 3 hours, yeah.
I think it was Facebook. That was the first social media that I was introduced to. And I went on to it out of curiosity, really. It held my interest for all of about 10 minutes. And yeah, that was my first encounter.
I think it was Facebook. I think that was in 2007.
My earliest memory of social media and being introduced to it was my sister. I think she was on MySpace. I'd probably last, I don't know, depending on how long I could go on like a deserted island holiday, that long, it would be fine. I wouldn't need a Wi-Fi connection. Okay, if I'm to go off social media, I think I can do for 2 days, 3 days, really I'm not lying, I can. That means I'll be singing or learning, yeah, or taking the children out and other things, yeah. I think I can go for 2, 3 days, 4, yeah.
In terms of a digital detox, I'd be happy to give my phone up for the rest of my life. I really dislike mobile phones. There are positive sides. Of course, there's always good, there's always bad. What worries me is how detached people are getting from each other and how okay it seems to be just to check your phone whenever you want, mid-conversation. People carry their phones around with them all the time. You think, are you actually listening to me, or are you just fixated on when your phone's gonna ping, ding? Or I don't like that obsession. I find it really rude.
Well, the effect of social media on people's well-being and mental health, I've got mixed feelings to that, because for someone that is a bit isolated, might just go onto Facebook and see 1 or 2 things that will kind of uplift them, make them feel okay, or this is going on and everything, or I thought my situation was the worst, and you might see other people that are in worse situation than you are. It will uplift you in a way, and then it will help you get out of depression somehow if you're a little bit depressed. So the effect on your mental health might be a bit, it could help your situation in a way somehow, and then somehow in another way, just like everything has its pros and cons, somehow in another way it could kind of be a bit too much for you, and you could have the downsides and all that. So there's both, believe it or not, you've got both there. Check.
Yeah.
Oh, Check, how are you today?
I'm fine, thank you.
Okay. Do you use social media at all?
Yeah, all of them.
Well, definitely Facebook. But since recent, all the news about Facebook, I get a bit scared.
We use WeChat
Yeah.
and QQ.
Okay. Have you got Facebook at all?
No.
Oh, you're not a Facebook person, all this.
Because in China we can't use it.
Okay.
Nearly all of them: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat.
Do I what?
Do you use social media at all?
Only the telephone.
Only the telephone?
Yeah, the one in the house, I mean.
The house landline, yeah?
Yeah.
Facebook and Instagram.
I use Facebook, Twitter and Instagram are the main ones I use, yeah.
Quite a lot, more than I should. Hours. 7.
Roughly 7.
Maybe. I work in a phone shop, so it doesn't help that I have to.
5 hours.
Oh, that's tough. I mean, I use mine for work, so including that, oh God, I wouldn't want to say.
What, a day?
Yeah.
Probably a few hours, do you think? Yeah.
Yeah, rough estimate.
Like
yeah.
2 hours or something probably.
Maybe like 4, 5, 7 hours? I don't know, yeah, maybe 6. I'd say 6, probably, because I'm using it all day, yeah.
I mean, I think I could probably do it for like a couple of days, but it's like habit, isn't it?
Yeah,
so if I'm not
like
actively trying not to, I just, yeah.
I think it's like a week, like to cut the addiction. But for me right now, I can stay for like a day, so I can check it at night.
Can't be more than a couple hours, really.
I reckon if I was like making an effort, I could go a whole day without, definitely.
So the impacts of social media on mental health, I find, is it can be pretty detrimental, but also it can be beneficial. Like people can seek support from other people and find resources that can help them, but then also you're constantly comparing yourselves to other people and things aren't true. Like people will put out this kind of glamorized version of themselves or this great expectation, and then the reality of it is that this person could be miserable, but from what you see is this great life.
It's like if I went out for a meal with a friend, I wouldn't take a book with me and start reading it, but yet, well, it's actually happened in the past that one friend thought it was quite okay to be sitting there on social media while we were having a meal. So I don't like the fact that that's become socially acceptable.
For my Facebook to outlive me, I think that would be a nice thing for me, really, because my children will be able to go on it and have memories of their mom and things that I've done. So I think for me, in a way, it's a good thing.
78% of the population have access to a smartphone. A study done by the University of Pennsylvania showed that those who spent less time on social media felt less anxious, less depressed, and less lonely. Maybe now is your time to switch off and see how long you can last on a digital detox. Social media, good or bad, you decide.